All right, folks, we are live. How about that? I attempted to frost this glass before. It's got a little bit of frost on it yet, but it is heating up quickly. So this is a Sam Adams cup. It's the large one, and this is what they use at the restaurant. I think at Red Lobster. They gave it free when I bought a 12-pack of the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. So before we kick everything off, why don't we fill up the glass? Sounds like fun. Ooh, but you're wishing you're having a beer right now. Let's hear it. I tried this last night. I just made a lot of heads. So we're going to try to pour this a little better this time. Oh, mamacita. That looks so good, doesn't it? Ofta. Nice cold glass. It's October. We're drinking Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. And we're getting a good pour this time. So that's one can. That doesn't look full enough. That's unacceptable, right? Unacceptable. So let's open another one. We're gonna have a twofer today, huh? All right, let's see if we can continue this good pour. A little more tricky to hit the side when the glass is so full. I bet this is what you're hoping to come online and see today, huh? Oh boy. Oh, Nelly, get me a job at the brewery. How about that? Now I got about a third left in the can. So I'm assuming I should probably drink the can first and let that head rest a little bit, huh? That's my thoughts. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. What do we have in store today? We have auctions ending. We have some good stuff, and we're getting bids as we speak here. Ooh, the Sega channel just went up. See how it's at 2050? Watch this. Refresh. It's 2250. So we're already getting some people in. We still got 12 minutes left on these two items here. So we got the Game Ground for the Sega Master System, which I believe is quite rare. It's an Australian copy of the game. But since they do not use PAL there, they run on the same frequency we do in the United States, so the game should work just fine. So kind of hard to find that in the US, and what a fun game it is, Game Ground. And the Sega Channel, yeah, I think that's just more of a collectible thing. So we'll kind of go with that. Then the next two auctions we have ending together are the Master System lot, which is all loose cartridges. There's 5 games in total, and there's some good stuff in there. Grandia 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. That's a rare game in itself. And then the next two we have 8-game lot for Sega Game Gear. Holy moly. Then we have a 4-game lot, all with big cases for the Sega Genesis. And then we have the Mega Man Willie's War Collection Edition for the Sega Genesis, sitting at 62. Then we have the 3DO game, The Incredible Machine. That's at $4. And then we have the next two auctions. We have Starblade for 3DO at $4.24 and Super Wing Commander at $6.49. All three of these 3DO games have a decent wiggle room. So we might see some good snipes. And then, last two auctions but not least, we have the Valve Steam controller, which has had a lot of attention. Got some stories about that one over the week here we can talk about as we get closer to that time. And then we have this radio scanner for Listen to the Policeman. And this is a vintage unit that still even has the receipt in the box. It's pretty sweet. So that's gotten a little more bidding action than I expected. I bought that at a garage sale, I think for $10. So it's not too bad. So that is what is up today, anyway. As we scroll back, we can look at these two items right now, the first two that are ending here in 10 minutes and 21 seconds. So, all right, it is Wednesday. It is live at 12:45, eBay Gamer. And again, we are doing this show. We show off all the auction items as they end. And new ones are going up at the exact same time as they end. So it's important to get your bids in, have a little bit of fun, and hopefully we see some good snipes here at the end as well too. That's always important for me anyway. Or you can watch me cry live on video when I don't get what I hoped I would get. And we're doing it with the lights on today. Another important factor, might continue this for a little while here, just because I don't like the lights shining bright in my face when I have all the lights off. It's kind of irritating. And I'm not that good looking anyway. Well, probably the best looking guy in North Mankato, but beyond that, I don't think I'll do well in LA. Regardless. So it's just gonna be a good time. Let's talk just a hair about the Mavericks. I have my hat on while we're waiting here. We got Maverick hockey started back up. We're sitting at number 20 in the nation. That's a D1 college hockey program for the NCAA. So that's decently exciting. But we have a really big game coming up this week with North Dakota. So we have some good friends of ours. Our neighbors are coming with us to the game on Friday night. And then we'll also be there Saturday as well, too. So really, really looking forward to hockey this weekend and doing well, hopefully. Hmm. Let's take a quick peek at what is going to be going up today, if that makes any sense. So we have the 3DO game Twisted, which is a fantastic game show game. And then we have a Sega CD game, The Amazing Spider-Man versus the Kingpin. Then we have a 3DO game. It's a Maniac Pack. It has Way of the Warrior, Out of This World, Battle Chess, and Alone in the Dark. All in one box. That's 4 discs. What a bargain. And then we have the Mortal Kombat 2 for the 32X, along with 3DO's Family Feud is going up. Nabunga's Ambition for Sega Genesis. Complete Inbox. That's another how do you spell that? KOE game? People seem to like those. Then we have the Retrocade New Wave Toy Space Ace Black Edition going up. That should be a hot one. Doom for Sega 32X. We have an 8-game lot for the Game Gear. That includes such games as Bust-A-Move, Lemmings, Garfield, Madden, Tasmanian Devil, and more. We have a loose cartridge for Sega Genesis called Exile. It's an RPG game that people tend to like. Then in honor of Halloween, we got Vampire, Master of Darkness for the Sega Game Gear. Tested and authentic. Then we have the Sonic and Knuckles Sega Genesis game loose. And this one will get my neighbor Katie excited. It's kind of like figurines, but it's NASCAR collection. And we have in the packages here 67 NASCAR like Matchbox style cards. I know nothing about this stuff, but we're going with it. So should be a good time. So that is what we have going up for next week. Now, as we're sitting here, we're at 6.5 minutes left on the first 2 auctions. That is gone. That is gone. Set these down somewhere nice, kind of. I think I'll be fine like that. They're not cold anymore. All right. So, what else has been going on? I have been working on my arcade project. Those of you that aren't aware, I purchased 2 arcades off of Marketplace, thanks to my buddy Mark Kroll. And did sell one of the boards on here. It went for $80, but I got both arcades together delivered for $95. So we've already recovered most of the expense. I had one of those Unico 25-inch LCD monitors laying around that go inside arcades. So I slightly altered, it's the Missile Command one, and put that in. And I'm going to probably end up using, I am going to, planning on. I ordered a newer Pandora's box. But I don't think it's shipped yet. And I've ordered it like 3 weeks ago. So I think if it doesn't ship by tomorrow, they just automatically refund your money with AliExpress. It's kind of frustrating. The world today, you can't count on anything, right? But regardless, that'll end up being a multi-cade then. I'll have like 20,000 games on or something stupid. Not sure what I'm going to do with the control board on that at first. I might just leave it as a two-button, two-player. at first anyway, and we might expand on that control panel later as time allows. But the other cabinet is Original Defender, and I've been really working hard on that one. I want it to run on a Raspberry Pi using the original monitor and boot up straight into the game. Now, for me to boot it up straight into the game really isn't that big a deal. Gameground just got a bid. We're up to 11:33 with 4.5 minutes. But anyway, getting the Pi to boot up Defender, I'm using Raspberry Pi 3 B Plus board, and that isn't that big a deal. It's getting the Pi to show up on an original arcade monitor. I mean, kind of like hitting my head against the wall here. So on the board itself, I've identified the red, blue, and green RGB, right? And then we have the ground, and then we have the vertical, whatchamacallit? I think Gameground just got another bid. I'm not sure. Vertical horizontal adjustment. And I bought what's called the VGA 666 hat that goes onto the Raspberry Pi, which gives the Raspberry Pi a VGA hookup. And then I've loaded some software that's supposed to output 15 hertz, and that's what was used for the tube TVs back then. But I've soldered this in, these wires, all this stuff, and I turn it on, I just get like lines across the screen. And I'm just kind of scratching my head a little bit. Have some more things to try. Not giving up by any means, never giving up. I'll do so. If I have to put LCD screen on, I'll put LCD, but I want to reuse that monitor because I want to redo the Defender to feel like it is the real Defender without using the main board. And I'm going to redo the control panel because it wasn't a Defender when I got it, but the graphics underneath are Defender, all the paint job. So I want to make an up-down control scheme. Well, we're getting some other bids on other items. The Master System lot's getting it too. Yes, yes, Bat Cato. The Sega channel still works if you have government issued over the air HD box. You can only play Toe Jam and Earl. That wouldn't be that bad. Toe Jam and Earl is endless enjoyment. You can't slam that. You just can't. We're just getting bids all across the board on some other stuff. The Master System lot of 5 games is up to $20.50. We're getting rich now, folks. Again, we do have quite a bit of wiggle room in most of these auctions. These two, I don't see a ton more movement. I'd like to see Gameground go over $20, but that's just a shot in the dark. This game isn't ever for sale in eBay almost. And so it's probably looking for a true collector, which I respect, but they might want the original case and book too. But that might not be easy to get. So, see, the problem is Gameground, it's collectible, yes, but it's fun. It's a fun game, and that's the important part. I think, it's one thing to collect games, but you got to play them a little too. That's kind of important. So, regardless, that's kind of what's been going on the arcade project. The weather has been cooling down. I just haven't had as much motivation to jump into it right now. Because I keep going out trying to remove the decal from the Defender with a heat gun, and all I do is get frustrated because I move like an inch down across the whole cabinet, probably every 5 minutes, and I burn myself just repeatedly doing it. It is so hot using that heat gun, and then I turn it down, and I just can't get the right setting to make it easy. So I know my buddy Mike. I'll have to talk to Mike. He went through this with his Defender cabinet already. He actually took out the exact same decal, which is kind of weird. But it's frustrating the snot out of me because it's taking too long and I'm burning my hands. Should just get a big old UV glove. But I need my nails, kind of. I don't know. It's a stupid. All right, 10 seconds, folks. Let's see here. Any snipes in this little world here? We had some Gameground hits just minutes ago. There we go. Gameground got a snipe. And Sega Channel 61. Well, hot diggity dang, we got snipes. Well, that was a little unexpected. The Sega Channel going to $61. There you go. I don't know, but we're happy about that. And the game ground got closer to the $20 mark, but it was definitely a snipe as well too. So we had dose snipes. Let's take a little sip of drink for that. Maybe we'll have a hot day today. We need it. We need it. Let's take a look here. Let's hit the refresh on this. Let's load up the next two games. So this has been getting some action here in the last several minutes. I keep getting notified that I'm getting bids on that. And this Grandia 2, pretty cool Dreamcast game, really. Anytime you get an RPG, they kind of hold up in time. So you can go back and play them. And what's nice about a game like this is you don't have to download a patch to play it. You own a Sega Dreamcast, you just put it in and you play it and let it rock. What a interesting thought process, huh? Man, I'm getting the notifications are actually coming in today, which they usually don't. They get like hung up. I'm gonna turn down my phone. It's driving me a bit nuts here, folks. Let's see here. Notifications. Let's silence you out. There we go. So when you look at this Sega Master System lot here, we got Space Harrier 3D, which is probably the rarest of them in there because they actually made normal Space Harrier and then they made Space Harrier 3D, which I think you can turn the 3D off, I think. The Ninja, Alex Kidd Miracle World, Hang On Safari Hunt, which is a gun game and a racing game, two different games, and then Rambo. I like how it's just called Rambo, but it's Rambo First Blood Part 2, just so you know. So we'll see what happens here. It should be, just a swell time. I do have kind of an interesting story, not the most exciting story you ever hear in your life, but I buy things at garage sales and sometimes they flip them out on eBay and then sometimes I'll do even marketplace, local pickup. And I have them come just right to my house. I got over that weird fear that someone's going to try to abduct me. I'm a grown man. I don't think anybody really cares that much about me that way. So anyway, um, I put up recently a vacuum cleaner, a Spot vacuum cleaner. Oh, wait, we got a message from eBay. Somebody messaged me. Let's look at it together, shall we? Hit this. Okay, why is it not opening? Sorry, guys. It says I have a message. Here, let me go. I'll go into my phone. That should be exciting, right? Inbox. What? It's just that somebody paid. It isn't a real message. Oh, my phone notifications are going whack-a-mole today. Anyway, back to the story. So we had bought this Bissell pet vacuum, which is a wet dry vac kind of thing, right? Made for cleaning up basically dog piss and crap off the floor. And when I bought it when we got a new puppy coming several years ago. And you know what? Never needed it. He was so good, he never really went in the house almost at all. And so I purposely never opened the shipping box even. And so they still sell the same one on Amazon. It was on sale like the week I put it up for like 129 or something. Right, people are paying me left and right, which is rare. All right, sorry. And we lost our dog, which is a sad story, but I still have this vacuum. So I'm like, how much you sell it for, right? It's several years old, but it's brand new in the box. It's the same model they sell today. So I put it up for $80 in Marketplace. And Marketplace, if you've ever sold anything on there, is worse than going to the dentist. You get people asking, is it still available? You have it up for 80, right? Well, you take 40. Everybody always will email you. Will you take half of whatever you put up there? So maybe you should put up there double what you think you want, right? Anyway, so you're like, no, too low. Well, let me know if you don't sell it. I'll buy it for 40. I'm like, all right. Well, anyway, somebody pinged me yesterday on it in the afternoon, and they said, "Will you take 50?" Which isn't quite as insulting as the 40. And I'm like, I don't like to hold on to things long, so I said, "Tell you what, my bottom dollar is $60." And she goes, "Let me talk to my husband." We have she tells me this whole story in the thing about how she has a cat and a dog, and they just moved into an apartment, and there was a dog or something in the apartment before them that must have peed in this one room, and now all the animals just keep peeing in that room, and it's this big mess, and this vacuum is going to save the day. Well, I didn't have the heart to tell her that that isn't going to fix everything. It'll, if your dog pisses or craps in there and your cat pisses or craps in there, this will help clean that up. But you're never going to get aged urine smells out of carpet for the most part that dogs can still smell, even with the best vacuum, from my experience anyway. Um, I got a new message from Spud Rancher. What is my brother doing? Um, let's take a look here. Hey, quit messing with me, Bart Bat Cato. I'm not gonna answer your question. It's a joke. Anyway, I don't even know what his joke meant. That means it wasn't that funny. But anyway, um, so I'll do this. They call back later or message me later. I'll do the 60. Can I pick it up in 1 hour? I'm driving from Faribault right now. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And then she messages me again saying, do you take any cash apps? And I said, I take Venmo. And oh, we got a bid on Grandia too. We're up to 39. And then she replies back saying, oh, shoot, I'll have to get cash there. And I'm like, all right. Then I realized, oh, 40, got another bid. Um, it gets to be kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Forget there's so many different cash apps. You got to be careful how much of that crap you sign up for. You do realize you're linking all these things to your bank accounts. But anyways, I do have Venmo, so I'm just as guilty as anybody else. And so then I get a message after about that hour goes by. I'm pulling into your house now. I'm like, oh, great. I sit down my dinner, go grab the vacuum and run outside, and there's nobody there. And I'm like, all right. Looked kind of down the street, looked the other way. And my neighbor Martin was outside, and I started chatting with him. And I go, I don't know what's going on here. And so, anyway, I'm about to message her after 5 minutes or so. She goes, I'm sorry, I forgot to get the cash. I'm going to an ATM right now. Like, all right. So then she messages me again. I'm about to turn on your street now. And I still don't see her. And I'm like, what is this? Am I on a hidden camera show? Looking around. And what it is her husband's driving and she's just messing around on her phone. So I'm like, how are you doing all these detailed messages when you're driving around like that? But anyway, up 42. We got another bid. Under a minute to go. And so she shows up. Her husband lights up a cigarette in my driveway. I'm like, well, this is classy. And she comes out and I said, oh, I hope this works with your dogs. And then she tells me this deep story about it all again. I don't really care. You got a big heart, don't I? But she pays me the $60 cash, took it, and leaves. But then she was kind of hinting at that she was going to do the whole room with this little vacuum. And I'm like, well, this is a spot cleaner. You could do the whole room, but it takes freaking forever. Go rent a big commercial one if you're going to really, but I hope they're happy with it. It's a nice unit, gets good reviews. All right, we're getting close to that 10-second mark here. Let's see if we get any more snipes popping in here. Or 42 and 2050. 8, 7, 6. Come on, 42 and 2050. Hey, we got a snipe at $46. I will take it. That is a nice one. How about that, folks? Not too bad. We're getting a little bit of snipe action today. I'm not going to complain when that happens. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I'm getting a ton of notifications. All right, let's see here. So next up, we have the Game Gear lot. Oh, isn't that fancy? And we have the Sega Genesis lot. Now, these are kind of unpredictable, right? So the Sega Genesis slot here on the right, it kind of it's got Mortal Kombat in it with the book. All four of these cases have the tabs on top, which not everybody notices that kind of thing. Buster Douglas boxing and Evander Holyfield boxing are just not worth anything. Sonic 2 is probably, worth a few bucks, but the Mortal Kombat's probably worth 15 in itself. So if you're saying to yourself, is it going to go up? It could. I can't guarantee anything. What is it? Evander Holyfield, Mortal Kombat have books, but Sonic and Buster Douglas don't in this lot. I think I have 3 copies of Buster Douglas boxing. So that's the way you kind of push out games sometimes is you start forming these lots, put something somewhat desirable in there, like aka Mortal Kombat, and then you start throwing in some sports titles and stuff. Same thing with this Game Gear lot here. If you look at it, right? So Crash Test Dummies, Aladdin is desirable. Psychic World is desirable. Any sports game, no. This is kind of run of the mill, this Looney Tunes Speed Trap. Sonic's pretty fun. It's a pretty good game on the Game Gear. They made it right. And World Series Baseball, even though it is sports, it's actually a pretty good baseball game. And then the Garfield, yeah, there's weird Garfield collectors out there just in general. I'm not saying the game's good or bad. I don't think I've ever played it. But it's a game. Look at that. There's the backs of them. It's kind of fun when I shoot these videos because all I do with the Game Gear games usually is just make sure they work. I guess that's important. We could just play the Game Gear game Garfield once for 2 seconds. I think that could be kind of fun. Let's get this controller activated, huh? Just gotta make sure we get back in time to watch the snipes, right? All right, let's see. He's got a little volume for me, so I get to hear too. Look at the graphics on the Game Gear. I'm canning. Odie! Looks like clip art backgrounds. Okay, let's skip the story. Oh! Okay, this is... Oh, there. I do not want to do the password. All right. Cave Cat. 1 million... No, 3 million BC? That's a long time ago. Actually, the graphics are pretty good in this. Huh. Can I go in that hole? This weird game. You can't duck and throw. So you gotta get him like almost out of the frame. Look at that, he can kind of climb. Look at animation there. What is this thing? Is that a burger? You have 9 lives. Ha! I guess I'm not too surprised. Oh, now 10. What happened there? Oh, they used up some of my life. Apparently, I'm not supposed to jump into that water. You gotta really keep moving here. Hey. Wait, he hurts me? Isn't that my owner? What's his name? Oh, I don't think I want to do that. I'm gonna go on record. But I play better games. Alright, let's go check to see how the auctions are doing. Whoa, camera 2! Got the wrong camera set up here. Oh, because I did need to change camera, just need to change screens. Alright, we didn't get any movement. But we're still at 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so I mean So yeah, that arcade project though, still getting that Raspberry Pi to go to 15 hertz and communicate with the monitor. It's really hard to test on other things. So what I did is I went out to Arcade Freaks and I downloaded an ISO that I spun onto a SD card to put in. But I might just hook up an HDMI to it to see what it's outputting. Or at least open up the config file. Because sometimes when you keep hitting roadblocks, you kind of tend to slow down. You get kind of frustrated with it. And that's fair, I think. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Curious to see the other auctions popping up. Here, I just go here. I like to see if they get bids right away or not. All right, so we got it started out here. We got the Twisted popped up, and so did the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man already has 2 watchers and 2 views, so the 2 people who viewed it watched it. And I always think this is very confusing when, like, here we got the 3DO Maniac pack. We have a watcher, but nobody's viewed it. So how do you watch it if you've never viewed it? Can you maybe click on it in the description, like before you open it, just to say, I want to watch that? That might be it. And Mortal Kombat 2 has got 2 views, and nothing exciting going there. So, kind of is what it is, I guess. All right, getting down to that 2-minute mark. We'll see. What is... So if this was shipping to my own zip code, it usually... What is the shipping expense on this bad boy again? I don't see him. Sometimes it'll show it on here. Oh, here. Shipping $6.90 for that one. If it was just shipping to me, as silly as that sounds. And this is at $9.35. I do try to keep the shipping down as much as humanly possible. I've been buying some smaller boxes. Thank you, Stacy, for helping me with that this week. And my neighbor Katie and Kyle, they always are giving me a lot of boxes too. But I'm trying to use smaller sizes. Now the complicated part is when someone wants a combined shipping. Yeah, it's always just a pain in the butt. Someone wants combined shipping. But I get it. You want to save a couple bucks, especially when you're buying things cheaper here too, you know. Like you buy this for $15, but then you got to pay $9 to have it shipped. So all of a sudden it's like 25 bucks. So that kind of goes into the play of what a game is worth is what someone's willing to pay for it. And you got to include that shipping cost into that pay as well too. So, all right, we're getting down to the 30-second mark here. I gotta find a way to emulate that. Huh. All right, 20 seconds. We're at 20, 25, and 15, 50. Are we going to get any little snipers here or no snipers at all? That's the question. Uh-oh, we're down under 10. Come on. Come on. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. 31 on the... 36 on Game Gear. I would call that a successful snipe. Nothing on the Genesis Extra. That was sweet. I'll take that. So that's at $8. Huh. 8 games. So that's $4 a game. That's about what I need it to be, kind of, in a weird way. That ain't too bad. That's interesting. I got to keep doing the lots that way. So I have another 8 game lot going up this week. Hopefully it has similar performance. I can live with that. Now, this one, I think this Mega Man game, I might take a bit of a hair. I bought this like a few years back, and I bet I paid like $80 for it or something. It's at 62. It's still brand new unopened. But some of these things you buy to collect, and I don't know how to say it. You think they're going to be collectible, but they're not always collectible. So you got to cut your losses sometimes and just dump them, right? I thought about saving this one for there's a video game show going up in town here next month, and I'll have a table at it. I'll be at the brewery, and I've been holding some things off to the side for that, some higher dollar items, just because I don't get eBay feed on it if I actually sell. Now, not everything's going to sell there, so trust me, there'll be some good eBay stuff coming back after the show. But I think I'm bringing a Sega Nomad along. So if I were to sell something for like, let's say $400, eBay takes $60 of that 400 right off the top, and that's the $60 I could just keep, which is usually a good thing, right? So last night, standing outside, the neighbors, and my wife and their kids, and they're getting a couple trees cut down. So that's exciting. So we're looking at the trees and enjoying. I actually bought this big glass out there and I enjoyed one of these as well too. And suspected spam is trying to call me right now. I'll hang up on that. And they whatchamacallit, we're out there looking at it, and I noticed that the sun's setting, and I can see like in the horizon, the lightness, and I remember the comet is supposed to be coming through, and I was telling my neighbor Kyle about it, and he's like, "What?" We're trying to look for it, but we're having trouble getting a good angle because there's too many trees and houses and street and whatever, right? And we're really kind of struggling with it where we're standing. And then later, we're looking at it, and I said, "Is that the comet or is that a jet?" And we both agreed it was a jet. But now looking at the pictures, I'm pretty sure it was the comet. So anyway, should have got a picture of it maybe, but it was the comet, I think. So I'm gonna go out again tonight. I think it's gonna be clear again tonight, hopefully anyway. And hopefully we can see it because it's every night it's supposed to get a little worse, if that makes sense. I think the peak was on Monday for that in this area. But if you go out right at sunset times, you have the opportunity to potentially see the comet. So it happens once in 80. Well, my buddy Mark goes, well, he took a picture and sent it to me. I go, oh, yay, yay. I try to downplay it a little bit. And he's like, it's once every 80,000 years. And I go, or tomorrow. And he goes, touche. Or yesterday or the day before. It's been hanging around for a while here. So, but you don't see a lot of comments. So I think that is cool. Maybe we should get a cult going and we can get ride behind it and drink some Kool-Aid and I'll take a nap or something, right? So who knows? We'll see. Who knows? We will see. Look at my little list here. All right. We're kind of getting through it. Curious to see how that radio turns out. That Steam controller too, which interesting. That's at toward the end of the auction here. I bought it at a garage sale for 50 cents when I went up to Detroit Lakes and purposely went up there to do garage sailing. And it was some of the worst garage sailing experience I've ever had. Um, but I did stumble across a Steam controller. I didn't know much about it. And a very, very ugly controller, really. I mean, if you take a look at, so the D-pad is just ginormous. And then it's got this other pad here, which I'm like, well, that's weird. And then it's got an analog and yada, 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 right? Well, the D-pad also works kind of like a mouse touchpad on that's weird. A mouse touchpad in on a laptop, right? And so does this. But they're both clicky and things. It's really made for, I believe, PC gaming, where you're using your keyboard and a mouse a lot, and you can mimic that more with this controller. I don't believe they make them anymore. Now, they originally came with a dongle for the wireless, which they could be plugged in USB as well too. And realistically, real gamers don't like to use wireless, at least PC gamers and stuff, because there is a slight delay. But when you have more advanced Bluetooth, like kind of like the LE, which this has built in, and once they discontinued it, they upgraded the firmware that you could upgrade it so it works Bluetooth instead of just using this dongle. And so I got it for 50 cents, no dongle, and cleaned it up a little bit, hooked it up to the PC. It recognized the PC through USB, upgraded the firmware, connected to Bluetooth, works like a dream. And it just takes two AA batteries. So life is pretty simple there. And put it up. Now, the early days of auctions, when everything starts at 99 cents, there's literally people that think they're going to win it for like $1 to $5. Like their top dollar is going to be $5, right? You see it's at 47 right now. So you kind of know like, hey, buddy, this whatever. So anyway, it's sitting at $3.50. Did that go up $1 or down $1? I'm confused. I thought that was at 63. Oh shoot, I can't go back and look at it easy. Anyway, well, let's just look at the bids once. Well, there's no bid retractions. I'm just going crazy. Anyway, this individual, hey, get rid of that. I don't want the preview down there. Windows, you're failing. Anyway, um, this guy keeps bidding on it. He puts $5 in, and he's winning then at 450 from 350, and then he will retract the bid like 20 minutes later. Oh, put the wrong price. He did it 4 times over a period of 48 hours, literally driving me insane. So I wonder if I got a little piece of spit there. I bet that's what it was. I ended up blocking him from my account, so he can no longer bid on any of my stuff anymore. It just looks weird when someone keeps bidding and retracting. So like, okay, now you are winning, now you're losing, now you're winning again. You didn't do anything, and this moron with a 3 rating just kept doing it over and over. And when we get to that auction, let's just take a look at the bid history. I was just like, dude, what is even the motive here? I just don't get it. Like he thought if he kept doing that, maybe he might be able to win it for $5 at the end when it had like 5 days to go. It's just, ugh. We got a $2 bid extra on Mega Man. I would really like to see that grow, but if you look down here, I think you can get it buy it now for 75. I don't know if it's new or not. It says new, but I have good reputation. Oh, 66, 67. Those are snipes, folks. 3, 2, 1, 0. I'll take the 67. Incredible machine. This game is so underrated. It is so much fun. But we did get a snipe there, so why don't we do a nice little snipe here, huh?
Wow!
That's right, folks. We got a little snipey action there. Basically went up $5 in the last 10 minutes, huh? So Starblade, I hope Starblade goes for more than $4. This game's amazing. These 3DO games, I don't know. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not. And I'm almost out of them, so better get them while you can. Especially these long box ones. Pretty cray-cray, I gotta tell you. So let's see here. What do we got? We have 18 watchers on Starblade, though, and 14 on Super Wing Commander. Those are pretty high numbers in Dreamcast World, especially when we're sitting this low in prices. So we're going to see some snipe action, almost guaranteed. Oh, here, I'm going to go grab some. I got a kind of a fun story for you. So part of my winter project is I'm going to dabble in vinyl a little bit on eBay. Okay, I know vinyl's popular, but people aren't buying the old stuff necessarily. So it's not like it's worth the time. But I stumbled on something. So I was doing an all city garage sale, and I can't remember which one is the one that is super. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. So I was stumbling, looking at some vinyl, and when I recognize vinyl, first of all, right? Some artists, I tend to go, oh, okay, that's cool. But, if they're really common, there's going to be nothing there. And I came across this Beatles album first in a stack. Not Beatles, Monkees, sorry. And a little funny fact about me is we have a lot of Torques in the family. If you even look at my 23andMe, you see it. Scotland, eBay is supposed to prevent them from bidding after 2 retractions. I thought, yeah, I'll show you it when we get to it in the next auction, Scott. He did it 3 or 4 times at least. And I'm just like, dude, it's the same thing every time. Put the wrong amount in. But here we are. We got this Monkees album. And I'm related to Peter Tork. Yeah, right? But anyway, I pick up and look at it and go, this isn't really much of anything, right? But then I look at the back here. Let's go full screen here for a sec. Somebody crossed out the Peter Tork on the back. And he's like star, bad, star. So they didn't like him. Now I remember watching the Monkees, the actual TV show when I was younger. And to be honest, I didn't really get it. And it's just the theme song was kind of fun. Hey, we're the Monkees. Every time I heard it, my mom would always say, Darren, you're related to Peter Tork. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. The guy that doesn't talk. So I bought this one and some others because they were like 50 cents or a quarter a piece. And clearly, there's tape on the sides, it's holding it in, right? It's in great shape. Not in great shape at all. And then since I don't usually see a lot of Monkey albums, but I bought a ton of them that day at another garage sale, and I got the same one. And more writing on it, but on the top, you can't win with this stuff, right? Well, I get home and start looking up a little bit of values and things like that. And we might have to go full screen for this one again. I've got the first one is a misprint album. So if you look at the name Gene, it's spelled differently on the bottom and the top, right? So where is it again? Papa Gene's Blues. Papa Gene's Blues. So I got 2 different albums. And if you look at the item number, one of them has an R behind it for reprint. R-E, reprint. So this is actually relatively rare. Somebody's trying to sell it for 18 grand. And right next to it, someone's trying to sell it for $15. Welcome to eBay. But anyway, I bought some special boxes of ship records. We'll have a little bit of fun with it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I've been picking up quite a few. Look at that. John Denver. Huh. He died, I think, over. Was it? Did he die in North Dakota? He was going to North Dakota, I know, to Fargo, I think. But his plane crashed. That was way back in the day. But I just think of John Denver about traveling out there and Dumb and Dumber, and he says that John Denver's full of crap because there's no mountains out here. Mm, that is a tasty drink. Well, I'm excited to go to the post office today, and I'm thinking about having some brewskis in the driveway this afternoon, evening. So if you're on the show in the neighborhood, pop on over. It'll be a nice time. Real nice time. So we're still at 424. We got 3 minutes left and 649. Kind of weird numbers, but what do you expect? So I have another thing I'm putting up for sale on Marketplace here soon. It's an Arcade 1-Up Mortal Kombat 2. And it's got the riser. Actually, it's a pretty fun little game. I can't figure out what I'm going to put it up for. And first I was thinking, like, let's just put it up for 300, maybe take 250, that kind of deal, right? Maybe even take 200 if it isn't moving. I don't know. I don't see a lot of Arcade 1-Ups for sale lately on Marketplace like there once were. So there might be some possibilities there. So before the show, I decided to search because I thought I'd talk about this a little bit. And then there's freaking Woot. Has it for $325. Now you got to pay tax on that. So let's just say you're going to pay basically $350 for it. As long as you're a Prime member, you should get free shipping. But that is the unit I'm going to be selling. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what the price I should do for it. It's in great condition. It's got to dust it off. That makes sense. I didn't modify this one at all or anything like that, but I always like the artwork on this one. And it's got good button layout. Because what games are all on it again? So you got Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Joust, Defender, ironically, Rampage, Gauntlet, Paperboy, Root Beer Tapper, Bubbles, Tubin, and Wizard of War. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I might be moving that here soon. So if anybody's interested, make me an offer on that. Always fun to have, right? Let's go back to the auctions here. Uh-oh, we're down to 1.5 minutes. Not much movement, making me a little sweaty Betty over here. We need some snipes. These 3DO games are going too low. Too low. The 3DO group I'm part of, I think they're all from the UK, so I keep posting in there, and then they ask, will you ship to Ireland? No. Under a minute. 424 and 649. 4 bids on one and 6 on the other, so hopefully it's multiples. We got a little buy-in, and we got some people sitting here in the weeds waiting for the last 10 seconds. That's always fun, right? And then we have the final auctions of the day. And one of them isn't a video game. So that's always interesting. All right, getting down to 25 seconds. I'm not seeing much movement. 424, 649. 20 seconds. 424, 649. 15 seconds. All right, we're getting into true snipe land. 10 seconds ago. 424, 649. Come on, see some movement here. These are going way. Oh, 750, 850, 1649, 2450, $26. Yes. So in the future, just to be heads up, I'm starting to stagger these so I don't have two 3DO games ending at the same time because the same person might be bidding on them. But those are some nice snipes. We'll give it that. Let's get a snipe clip in. And they went for about what they probably should really go for. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Let's just see if I got to refresh these, I think, to see the top bidder. TP. Okay, two different guys. So no combined shipping on those two anyway. All right. What are we got the Steam controller and the police scanner. May all your wildest dreams come true with these two. So let's take a look here. So Scott, like you mentioned, eBay and their policies, right? Okay, it was 3 bid retractions he did. Not 4, but 3. Entered wrong amount, entered wrong amount, entered wrong amount. And they're staggered out. Let's see here. October 12th, he did it at 9 a.m., 1 a.m., 3:20 p.m. Oh, shoot, I'm not showing it to you. Did you guys not see that last auction end? Oh, I'm sorry. There was some good snipes. It really was. It went up to like $25 and 27, something like that. So they went from like $4 and $6 up into the mid 20s. So I didn't show the actual screen. My apologies. But yeah, so here you go. He only had 3 rating when he was doing this before too, so he's been buying stuff. Let's click on him. I don't know. Anyway, vid retractor. I don't like these guys. So I blocked him from my account. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be honest. Because I think he's trying to cheat the system one way or the other, taking advantage of my other customers. And I don't want to deal with that. Nor do I want it to look like I'm the one doing it for some reason. It just can't be good. So the Steam controller I got for 50 cents at a garage sale. I'm seeing a pretty good margin right here. Not going to lie. Now the monitor mono radio scanner monitor. That's weird how it's written on the box. Anyway, I think I picked that up for $10. I kind of talked the guy down. He wanted 20. And I'm like, no. And then he tried to sell me the antenna for $15, more like a big antenna you put in your yard. And I'm like, you do realize most of these channels don't work anymore. Like real police stuff is on encrypted now. He goes, yeah, that's why I got get rid of it. And I go, well, so I don't think I need the antenna. It's more nostalgia. But it is a beautiful, beautiful setup. It has Team Electronics actual receipt in there. And I remember going there a lot, looking at car stereos and things. But we saw the last auctions? Oh, good. Good. I thought for a second we didn't. Oh, I'll end up blocking a lot, huh, Scott? I think I have 3 blocks right now. Um, but yeah, it just gets so stupid. Sometimes you just wonder, like, I don't know how people make it through the day if they're really that dumb. Anyway, sorry, don't mean to. Cheers. The Oktoberfest is extra good this year. Now, I don't know if it is because I'm just getting really sick and tired of the taste of light beer, not gonna lie. But um struggle is real. I still got 5 minutes. So let's go back and let's take a quick peek at active stuff that has been going up. I like to see if we got any early bids or whatever. So we got a watcher on the next Sega Game Gear lot. Still not a lot. Oh no, no, that's the new. That's the stuff ending now. So nothing immediate, but look at this. Spider-Man already has 5 watchers on it. It's pretty incredible. And the 3DO game, it's got 2. So we'll see how this ends up. We will see. Guaranteed. What other options are down here? See, yeah, it always confuses me. Now maybe it's because I did the updated firmware. Like people get like scared of that, and so you can buy the same controller here. It just may not have been updated yet for 44 versus 47. So I don't know. So this, I don't think this has a ton more headroom, but you never know. A lot of times people get really like uncomfortable doing any type of mod. And I hate to call updating a firmware a mod, but it kind of is. I mean, you had to go and hook up the controller, run a bat file, and it took care of everything. But I think a lot of you probably even on the channel don't even know what a bat file is. So anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, I got to sell off that Mortal Kombat. The controls on the Arcade 1-Up, they're okay on it. Very upgradable at least, and for a very low price. That's what always drove me nuts about Arcade 1-Ups is the controls they use in them are pretty low end. But to your average consumer, they wouldn't know the difference, I guess. I mean, we used to sit and play Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcade. Not sit, stand and play Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcade all the time. You play against complete strangers. You put your quarters up on the glass, and then you would have yourself a dandy old time. Ooh, it tastes good. All right, 3 minutes to go. And these are our last 2 auctions, folks. So let's hope everybody gets their payments in right away, because in an hour after the show, I leave for the post office, which is always a good time. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I hit all my topics on here. Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing the Zelda game again on the Switch. We talked about that last week a little bit, but Breath of the Wild, and I'm not kidding. That's a fun game. It's easy to watch when you're like watching TV if you're just exploring, looking around for shrines, and then you just got to solve the puzzles in them. It's really is a pretty decent time. So I don't know if you can see behind me, but I got some Phantasy Star stuff going on the TVs. I have another TV projecting the same thing over here. That's why I keep staring that way. I love Phantasy Star 2. I might have to go play that again. I just don't like how you have to use like the book to go through it all or go online with it because the dungeons are just so ridiculous. And it's kind of nice for you to tell you step by step because you don't have to talk to people, I think, in 2 to get things done like you did in 1. Um, and I like the just rack meaning like grind and level up. That's my favorite part of Phantasy Star 2. And so just kind of aimlessly wandering and building your character up, it's just always a good time. All right, we're getting close here. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go, and we'll see here. That the radio is interesting to me because it's just so pristine. You know, what's it really worth? Somebody had it up the day I bought it, so I hung on to it for a couple weeks before posting it, and I think they're asking about $50 for it, but the box has just beat the crap. This box is beautiful. All the styrofoam. It looks like all the hookups are there. Now, I don't know what it came with all originally, but it looks pretty complete to me anyway. Should be happy for some people. Let's see here. We're down the 30-second mark now. All right, 47-41. Are we going to get any little bonuses here? That Steam controller, I don't see that having a lot more room, but if anybody's going to snipe, it's going to be on that type of thing because these are computer people, right? So I think they would snipe. All right, 10 seconds to go. Anything happening? Anything happening? Anything happening? Anything happening? Going once, going twice. 47-41. And we end on a cold note. No final snipe. Isn't that special? Well, everyone, thank you for watching. Thanks for participating. And if you're watching this recorded, leave some comments. See if there's anything you want me to change, whatever. Beyond that, have yourself a great day.